They said dogs belong in backyards, with bowls of food, toys scattered on the grass, and maybe a cozy little doghouse under a tree. But not him. He was born with something different in his heart. A pull, a whisper, a call to the unknown. Every time a plane flew overhead, he looked up. Every time a train rumbled by, his ears perked up. While the other dogs napped in the sun, he stood by the fence, dreaming of roads that never end, of places with smells he'd never sniffed, of people he hadn't yet met. So one day, he left. No plan, no leash, no collar, just courage, and 4 paws pointed toward adventure. He wandered out of the quiet little town he knew, down dirt paths and side roads, across highways buzzing with cars. Everywhere he went, people looked twice. A stray, a wanderer, a mystery. No one knew where he came from, but everyone felt something when they looked in his eyes, like he'd seen things, felt things, lived more than most. His journey took him to mountains first. He climbed high places where the air was thin and the sky felt close. There he howled, not in fear, but in freedom. He ran through fields in Switzerland. He dipped his paws in glacial rivers. He chased falling leaves in forests older than memory. He wasn't just traveling, he was transforming. In Italy, he trotted through cobblestone streets. Children fed him bits of bread and cheese. Artists painted his portrait without asking. They said something about his face. It told a story. In Turkey, he slept near ancient ruins, next to marble columns and forgotten empires. Every night he curled up under history, as if he knew somehow that the world had been turning long before he arrived and would keep turning long after he was gone. Sometimes he stayed in one place for a few days. He'd rest near street musicians, or curl up beside an old man on a bench. He listened to their songs, their stories, their silence. But then, just like that, he'd leave again. The road was always calling. He crossed borders without passports, rode in the back of strangers' trucks, walked alone through deserts, and climbed cliffs where even goats were careful. In Morocco, he sat beside travelers drinking mint tea. In Peru, he followed a trail all the way to the mountains in the clouds. In Japan, he bowed when people bowed to him, and they swore he understood. But it wasn't always beautiful. There were rainy days and freezing nights. He got chased away, kicked at, ignored. There were days when no one gave him food, nights when he was too tired to walk, but had nowhere to sleep. His paws blistered, his fur matted, his belly rumbled. Still, he never turned back. Because this journey wasn't about escape, it was about discovery, not of places, but of himself. What kind of dog keeps going when the food runs out? What kind of soul keeps moving forward when it would be easier to give up? He was that kind. He met people everywhere. A boy who had lost his father, a woman who had lost her faith, a traveler who had lost his way. They didn't speak the same language, but that didn't matter. He'd sit quietly beside them, lay his head on their lap, look at them like they mattered. And they did. To him, they all mattered. Because he didn't care about names or money or where people came from. He cared about energy, vibes, hearts. He wasn't owned by anyone, but he belonged to everyone. A little girl in Greece called him hero. A baker in Brazil called him wonder. An old man in India said he was a saint in fur. But he didn't need a name. He had a purpose. One paw in front of the other. One step, one city, one soul at a time. Everywhere he went, he left something behind. A smile, a memory, a tiny reminder that kindness can have paws. Years passed. His fur got a little grayer, his legs a little slower, but his spirit, still wild, still curious. He never settled down, because the road was his home. Every sunrise still felt like a beginning. Every new smell brought joy. Every stranger was still a friend waiting to happen. And though he'd seen the world, the mountains, the oceans, the lights of the cities, it wasn't the places that mattered most. It was the moments. Moments of connection, of stillness, of simple, silent love. He was just a dog. But in a way, he was also a teacher. He reminded people to keep moving, to stay open, to love without needing anything in return. He's still out there, you know. Somewhere, walking a dusty road, trekking through a quiet village, watching a sunset from a rooftop far away. Maybe you'll see him one day. Maybe he'll sit beside you at a train station, or follow you through a rainy market, or curl up near your feet when you least expect it. And if he does, you'll know, because in his eyes, you'll see it. The story of the dog who traveled the world, not to run away, but to show us how to live. So ask yourself, where would you go if you weren't afraid? And more importantly, who might you become if you just kept going?